Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to Game 2 of this best of 3 from the Zotac Cup. It is between AcerBly, who is of course the Zerg player in the lower left, and ECWelmu, who is the Protoss player in the top right. The map is Daybreak, and well, Game 1 of course went to Welmu, which may have been a bit surprising for some of you. But he did just a really solid game. I mean, his Phoenix didn't do too much damage, but then he pushed out before Bly was able to get Broodlords out, basically. Bly committed to quite early Broodlord Infestor tech, and as a result, kind of got hit by timing, which worked really, really well for Welmu, so big credit to Welmu for really hitting at the right point. Now, in terms of Game 2, what can we expect? Obviously, the pylon is coming down, so that's all looking fairly fine to me, because it's Daybreak, huge rush distances, everything's cool. Meanwhile, Bly, if we remember in Game 1, he actually went for a 13 pull, and he's going gas first. Ooh. Nope, it's an extractor trick. I maybe just embarrassed myself a little bit there by getting really worried that that was going to be like some kind of funky build before I looked at the production tab properly. So let's glaze over that. The fact I'm a little bit overexcited because these are two awesome players who I really like. And let's instead think about Game 1, where of course it was a 13 pull, 6 Zerglings, which tried to do some damage. They actually stayed in the base for a long time, and Welmu eventually cleared them out, but Bly going for a 14 pull this time, so fractionally later, more than norm, and well, Welmu looks like he is just happily probing up at the moment. Not much really to be said. He's being a bit irritating with his probe, as of course he was in Game 1 as well, because why not? You've got a probe, you might as well be irritating with it. Thing I'm noticing though, obviously Welmu not getting down his forge yet. 300 minerals, we should then see probe get pulled. We should see a probe get pulled. Probe does get pulled. Gonna go down there and produce one of those lovely Nexi. As you can see, my cold, which I was suffering with all last week throughout Dignitas week, is finally starting to go slowly, very slowly, but it is going at long last. Bly getting blocked there momentarily, not too long, it's all fine. Now, the big thing that happened in Game 2, if you remember, is Bly actually took a gas really early on in order to get speed really early on, which delayed his third base massively, and as a result, that was really why he got kind of knocked out of kilter. So I'm going to be really interested to see whether Bly goes for that standard 4 to 5 minute third base, or whether he goes for a similar build to what he did in Game 1, which of course didn't work for him. Meanwhile, obviously Welmu getting the forge up, getting the gateway up. Cannon should get started fairly soon. Probably going to chuck the cannon there. There we go. And yep, we're all looking good. Everything's to be as expected. The Overlord is just chilling up there. Meanwhile, 6 Zerglings are on their way across the map. They're not going to have a fun time. The cannon is definitely going to be up in plenty of time before they hit over. So, really, just good news all in all. This probe coming back up again, checking. Sees this early gas yet again. This is a really interesting playstyle out of Bly, because, of course, pretty much every Zerg player in existence takes this third base at about 4 minutes 20. That pylon chucked down just to make sure that he's absolutely safe there. These Zerglings are now not going to be able to do anything at all because the cannon has, of course, finished. The Nexus up, the second gas on its way up. Everything all slotting into piece nicely. And interestingly, Welmu, I don't know if he's scouted up here. No, he hasn't. He definitely hasn't come up this area yet. But Bly, he needs to take his third base. I just don't see how this strategy is meant to really do much for him, because it delays this base by ever so much. And he knows this wall off's here, where you're unable to get those Zerglings in anyway. The Cybercore on its way down. The third gas on its way down as well. Welmu could obviously go for a Stargate yet again, although to be fair, Bly dealt with it very well last time indeed. The probe even coming down here being a bit like, hang on, why is there not a base here? An Overlord got picked off somewhere. I'm not quite sure where that happened, but at least I believe an Overlord was picked off. No, it wasn't. It must have just been like some kind of extractor trick to get it through. I don't quite know how that worked there, but I'm very confused if nothing else. The probe, something was cancelled up there, I'm not quite sure what it was, but the Zergling just chilling over here. The probe trying to get back up in, has a little scout, sees the spawning pool, researching speed, of course, good scouting information. Does see that there's only one gas, I believe, so that is all good as well. Meanwhile, 4th gas coming up here now for Welmu, so this is really a lot of gas very quickly. He's getting up his warp gate tech. He's got the single sentry out at the moment, and finally this base comes down at about 6 minutes 20, which is pretty much a good 2 minutes later than you'd expect to see it. So but really, Welmu, he's got a good window of opportunity. He's getting up that Stargate. And of course, Bly really has to make this work for him, because obviously just having outspeed isn't going to be too helpful when you've got this. It's a complete wall off. You're never going to punch through that with just Zerglings. So I'm not quite sure the thinking behind Bly's build here, but obviously he's a great player, so there must be some kind of benefit he's getting out. The only thing I can really think is he obviously gets that speed out earlier, so if he was up against some early pressure, specifically say a big gateway push or something like that, he'd have that speed out so much sooner, which may help him a little bit. But generally I don't think that'll counteract the lost production and income from delaying that third base by so long. So let me know in the comment section, do you guys have any thoughts on why he might be doing that, why he goes for this build? I don't know if I've missed like him explaining it anywhere, but generally speaking, it just seems a little bit peculiar to me. This Phoenix is doing some good damage though, going to pick off that Overlord. That Overlord, if it's found, is going to die. That Overlord could die as well. Any more Overlords around the map? No, not really. So, if nothing else, that Phoenix picking off that Overlord is good news. We've got the double gateway coming up, robotics facility coming up as well. So that takes us to 3-gate Robo with a Stargate as well. The second Phoenix is now out. Gonna come and check over here. It would appear. I don't think it's gonna be able to spot that though. No, it's not. Unfortunately, that Overlord does manage to get away. This one probably gonna die. Oh, it's no. Well, he does actually go and scout up there. So that is gonna be one dead Overlord. 2 Overlords killed for 2 Phoenix. That's good. A third one probably gonna go down. Third Phoenix getting out. 4th Phoenix in production. More gateways being added on as well. The robotics bay being added on. So all in all, that robotics bay a lot sooner. And really, the purpose of that is, if we remember back to game 1, Bly did actually go for a very quick Hydra list then, just in order to deal with the Phoenix ASAP. We do have this Overlord going down as well. Bly is losing so many Overlords, he's literally bleeding them. There's more Overlords spread across the map as well, which aren't supported by anything for the moment. Yes, there are Spore Crawlers, but there's not enough. These Overlords all exposed as well. So, to be honest, these Phoenix could start doing an incredible amount of damage. Even with the 2 Queens there, they could have a pretty okay time. Of course, more Queens coming up. 3 Queens will force these Phoenix back for the time being, but well, there's more Overlords ready to be hunted, and these Phoenix really paying for themselves well. If we look at the loss tab, 100 resources lost compared to 300. We've got the +1 armor coming down. Yep, more Overlords are on their way down. And of course, every time you pick up an Overlord with these Phoenix, you're just wasting a lava, wasting 100 minerals, and just generally being incredibly irritating. Jones getting taken out there very quickly before the Spore Crawler is seen, and Bly just being like, yeah, you really going to engage there? And Welmu being like, no, not a good move. Welmu taking up his third base is going to probably force to get cancelled though, unless these units can get down there ASAP. There's not enough Zerglings there to really force it down, so that should be absolutely fine. Meanwhile, these Phoenix have found 4 very happy and chilling Overlords, which are unfortunately going to die. That other Queen getting lifted. More Queens are being pulled over to try and deal with it. Transfuse goes down amazingly well there by Bly. Using that Transfuse ASAP. Another Transfuse goes off. I think it's on the wrong Queen, actually. That's a bit unfortunate. That Queen is a too big a target in the red there to be missed. I think 1 Phoenix was taken out there. Not a bad loss. Still, obviously, we're seeing here Welmu engaging way more cost effectively. These Overlords now incredibly exposed, and Welmu really showing how effective these Phoenix can be. We've got more pylons coming on, more gateways, the cannon here. The third base definitely going to be safe. Meanwhile, the Twilight Council, extended thermal lance getting chrono boosted. The first Colossus is on the field. These Phoenix poking and prodding. But well, that Spore Crawler is sitting there and is being incredibly frustrating to deal with. So, not going to have too much of a fun time trying to stop all of that. Now, looking down here, obviously Stargate, Twilight, as I've mentioned. Creep spread leaves a bit to be desired by Bly at the moment. Of course, it's only just really coming out of his bases. He's taking the 4th. He scouted this obviously coming down, so he has to take this 4th base. Otherwise, he's going to get so far behind. If we look at the worker count, 63 to 62, so they're actually equal on workers. That hugely favours the Protoss player, like absolutely massively. Burrowed Infestors. Oh my goodness, Burrowed Infestors. What are they going to do? What are these Infestors going to do? I live in hope of burrowed units. Seriously, the only thing I like more than Burrowed Infestor harassment is without doubt those lovely things called Burrow Banelings. And those of you who've ever seen me cast a game with Burrow Banelings, I end up just watching them obsessively in case they go off. Behind this push though, obviously we do have Bly getting up the Hive, getting up the Spire, lobbing down quite a good number of infested Terrans as well. So this is probably going to take quite a bit of damage. Meanwhile, Zergling's trying to run through, but of course the Colossus are there. Those 2 Colossi are going to be able to do good damage and really clean all of this up, so that should be pretty much fine. The Nexus should survive, except of course these Zerglings are running around and being very irritating, but well, does manage to survive absolutely perfectly. The Zerglings are running through upgrade-wise, 1-1 up against 1-1. So, matched upgrade-wise, +2 Protoss ground weapons coming down. And a Dark Shrine. Where is the Dark Shrine? There we go. 1 Dark Shrine on its way down. We've got, of course, more gateways coming down as well. So, DTs could potentially be annoying, but more likely just for the Archons, really. More Spine Crawlers on their way down. Of course, what else have we got? We've got the Spire there. The Hive nearly finished up, so we should see Greater Spire started. The Macro Hatch. The 5th base coming down as well. Zerglings do manage to pick off that Nexus incredibly quickly. And well, as you can see, they're going to try and just loop around and get back out there. I was wondering for a second if they're going to try and come into the natural, but of course we do have that Zealot there. And Bly managing to pick that off is actually a massive win. But Welmu, he is still about 15 supply ahead, and that supply advantage could be absolutely huge because the Greater Spire only just starting, that's a good 100 seconds away. And as a result, Welmu is going to try and hit this window we had before, where it's before Broodlords come out, it's before there's a good number of Infestors, and ultimately, Bly is left to defend with Corruptor, Zergling, Infestor, which isn't going to be too fun for him, but on the plus side, he has a good number of Corruptors out at 7, so going to be able to do good damage to those Colossi. Needs to keep this 4th base up. He's cancelled this 5th in the top position as well, so that's just getting down. In terms of the loss tab, the Zerg player having lost 1,000 more resources than that of his opponent. Looking at the worker killed, pretty much nothing there. Overall, in terms of the actual worker count, 68 to 66 in Welmu's favour. So that is definitely not good news for Bly, who's getting more Corruptors out, getting more Zerglings out. Welmu just waiting, morphed in a couple of DTs. That's good news. More DTs coming down here. DT coming to every base. Of course, there is this Spore Crawler, so detection will be granted at the 3rd. At the natural, though, there's nothing, so that's going to be a bit of a pain. The Spore Crawler getting focused, that's going to get taken down before Bly is able to react to it. That's going to be incredibly frustrating, and of course now all of these drones and units are forfeit. Meanwhile though, we do have Welmu pushing forward towards the 4th base. He could do so much damage here. Meanwhile, where has the other DT gone? It is just chilling down here in the main, but there is detection there, so it is going to get taken down fairly easily. Meanwhile though, so many drones are getting killed at the 3rd base. This is such an epic problem for Bly. He's losing just so much. It's absolutely traumatic for him. A fungal growth being used. The second fungal growth can have to be used for the other DT though, and that in itself is going to be a problem. What are these DTs going for? They try to get the Infestor, but not managing to quite yet. But wow, 20 workers were killed there by Welmu. The 4th base picked up. Welmu is in such an astonishingly good position. He's 30 supply ahead. If we look at the army supply, he's got a good lead there with, well, about kind of 15-ish. He's got a good lead in the worker count as well now. His 3rd base is up. He's on equal bases with the Zerg player. Things could not be going better for him right now. So Welmu is really in a strong position. And of course, being a best of 3, already being a game up, this means that if he wins this, he advances. And that is, of course, great news for him. Meanwhile, though, the Broodlords have hit the field. And Broodlords are always going to be dangerous. Blink is importantly done, though. That is the key upgrade here. If a good Blink comes under, it could run into some problems. How many Corruptors are there? No Corruptors. That is a bit of a problem. A good fungal growth goes down, though. The Zerglings do have to be pretty careful. They don't want to engage too close to this because the Colossus will just shatter them into 1,000,001 pieces. And, well, you've got this issue that, of course, you want to try and push into this force. You want to utilize the Broodlords as best you can, but you don't want to overcommit, because if those Stalkers were able to get a good Blink under, it could cause some problems. Mass transfuse going down here on, of course, this hatchery, so the Zealots aren't able to pick it off. The Zerglings do finally manage to clean up. Upgrade-wise, we are looking at 2-1 up against what is 2-1. We do have +3 Protoss ground weapons, the Fleet Beacon on its way out, Charge on its way out. Adrenal Glands, though, +3 melee attack and +2 armor coming down for our Zerg player in this situation. And Bly, he is definitely in with some big problems, because this is pretty much a maxed out Protoss army sitting there with 38 Stalkers. Now, there have been some DTs warped in. I'm not quite sure where they are quite yet, but I'm sure they are somewhere. Are they hotkeyed? No, unfortunately they're not. I don't know, where are they? They must be somewhere on here. Here they are. There's those little DTs. Still no detection of the 3rd base. And yet again, in exactly the same move as we saw previously, Welmu going to run the DTs in. And if the army's pulled back, he's going to move forward. These Broodlords exposing themselves. Need to be very careful. A blink forward, but the Infestors get there just in time. Meanwhile, though, look at this damage being done to the 3rd base. That is definitely going to go down now. That puts Bly not only incredibly low in his production capabilities due to losing the hatchery, but also incredibly low on the income. His main base pretty much mined out, so on effectively 1 mining base. The 4th base on its way down for Welmu. He's mining happily off of 2 of them, and about to be a 3rd mining base there as well. So Welmu could not be in a stronger position, in my opinion. He's just got the problem with these Broodlords. He needs to deal with them, someone. And this Phoenix desperately trying to do all it can. Desperately trying to kill a Broodlord, rather, but not managing to do so before those infested turns get down. Meanwhile, this force is really the only bit of scariness that's got to be dealt with. Zealots being warped in. We've got some Spine Crawlers coming down as well. Did not want that happening yet again. This Warp Prism being used effectively. Warping in a couple of Zealots who are going to die incredibly quickly, unfortunately. But still, it's a good play overall by Welmu, who's poking and prodding everywhere. He doesn't have to be too worried about being cost effective, because let's face it, he's got 2 more mining bases than his opponent right now, and that means that he's got way, way, way more income. We've got this big force though from Bly, and the Broodlords are always going to be the threat. The Mothership though, nearly out. It's only what, about, well, call it 40 seconds away, minus the chrono boost, so a bit less than that. Looking down though, obviously the Warp Prism is there, the 4th base up, good numbers of proton cannons rather, ready to defend it, and of course these Zerglings being forced to stay back in case another drop goes down, so Welmu really keeping Bly forced all the way back. We've got a good number of Spine Crawlers, and is that double Starport doing something here? It would appear so. There's the Mothership coming in, we've got 2 more Stargates rather on their way, we've got Voidways on the way out, and well, there must be another one. Wow, it's going up to 4 Stargate. Welmu, what are you doing? Are you going air toss? Do you think this is harder to swarm? Do you think you can make Tempest? Oh dear. Oh dear, we may see carriers. Everyone cross your fingers, because if we see carriers, it would be awesome. This War Prism, unfortunately, gonna go down though to the Corruptors. And well, that is a bit of a shame, because that means no more drop play, which is definitely deserving of a sad face in the chat. But well, looking around so far, we've got more poking, more prodding. These Zerglings coming back just to make sure this main base is defended. Although, all that's really here is the Infestation Pit in the Hive. The Greater Spire defended by the wall quite nicely there. That's a good little move. These sentries getting caught out of position. That is unfortunate for Welmu. He might be ahead, but he can't afford to just throw away money. You never can. He's ahead by a lot in the work account, though, because so many Spine Crawlers on their way down. So, this is good news for Welmu, who's now taking his 5th base. So, he's literally expanding everywhere. Carriers. Oh my goodness. Where are they? Carriers. Carriers. Guys, your like finger crossing definitely worked. This is brilliant. Everyone loves carriers, don't they, right? Right, you let me know in the comment section. Do you love carriers? And while you're down in that comment section, make sure you like the video as well, because it is desperately important that you like this video and leave a comment, because, well, it just helps people see these videos, which would be awesome. But anyway, back to the game. The creeps are moving forward. The destructible rocks in the middle have been taken down on Welmu. He needs to just defend these Broodlords. If he waits for the carriers, they probably won't make much difference to this engagement, but potentially they could be awesome. They're nearly out. They're only like 3 seconds away. Any second the carrier is going to come. Here we go. Here we go. The first carrier's out. Look at it come across. It's looking so good. A defensive vortex goes down, just trying to trap some units. I don't know how many Broodlords were trapped in there. 108 Zerglings on the field though. 12 Broodlords. I think there was a couple. The Infestors trying to move forward. The lag is absolutely devastating at the cloak effect and the vortex and all of these units. But out they come. The 3 Broodlords are going to get smited very, very quickly. But well, in come the rest of these forces. The Broodlords moving forward. Welmu having to do his utmost to try and defend all of this. Of course, we do see mass final roads going down pretty much everywhere. Stalkers moving forward. The Corruptors trying to focus down the Mothership, and the Mothership does survive. The remaining Colossus do still manage to pull back. We do, of course, have the carriers on their way over. Where are the carriers? Where are they? Oh my goodness. They are on the field. There's 2 carriers out. I just don't know where right now. The Broodlords are moving forward. Here come the carriers. The carriers are on their way. There's hardly any anti-air. There's only 4 Corruptors on the field. The Infestors are very, very low on energy. Not got much there. There is enough for a neural parasite, which is research. So we could see a snipe try to go down on this Mothership. But no, the Colossus is going to try and prevent that. But the carriers, are they going to get focused down by the Infested Terrans? They very well may. There goes the fungal growth. And this, guys, is why we don't very often see carriers, unfortunately, because that sort of thing can happen, which is definitely sad face, because everyone loves carriers. Meanwhile, though, Bly is just taking relentless amounts of damage. Welmu is just having to defend, trying to be cost effective. All he's really got to worry about is the 5 Broodlords. If they go down, he's in an amazing spot. The Voidways are there now as well. They're going to be very, very effective against these Broodlords, should they manage to get some good hits off. Of course, we do have the Corruptors moving forward. They are doing good damage. One of those Voidways definitely going to die exceptionally quickly. But importantly, this Mothership is somehow still alive. It's got enough energy for another Vortex, so that could be good. Unfortunately, there is only 1 Archon down right now. There are some more High Templar morphing in, so there goes 3 more Archons in production, 4 more in production. So that is not too much of a bad move right there. But well, Bly, he's moved his Spine Crawler wall forward. He is Spine Crawler pushing this 1 DT, is going to ruin the party at the top of the map and just be like, hey base, you are going down. But what's this? The Stalker's trying to move forward. Did they try and get a cheeky little blink off? Maybe they did. All I know is this DT is getting some cheeky little swipes off on this hatchery, so that is all going to die fairly soon. Meanwhile, the Overseer's desperately trying to get over there. desperately trying to get back and be like, oh, DT, if this DT kills this base, it could be the hero DT that wins the game for Welmu by just dominating everywhere. Of course, Welmu is up on 5 bases already. He's trying to get away from the Spine Caller. The Spore Caller has dropped down. Are the Spines going to be able to kill it quickly enough? No! It gets taken down. And, well, Welmu is now going to be in a happy, happy place. He's basically going to be, like, twiddling his thumbs and be like, once I kill this death ball of death, I will be absolutely fine. He's just got to be careful. He's got to start moving forward. Oh, what is that Infestor doing? Gets some fungal growth off, and of course that Infestor, oh, so irritating. We've got the Void Rays coming in as well, because Skill Rays, of course, incredibly important in any engagement. They are just so not used for late game. And well, the Corruptors are actually doing a good job. The fungal growth really picking off these Colossus well. The Spine Crawler wall dealing good damage. And if nothing else, Welmu seems to be up against the brick wall, trying to push through, trying to engage this. But well, Infested turns morphing forward. A good blink. One Broodlord goes down. Are we going to see a second one fall? Not quite. It manages to get Micro back. A good fungal growth goes down. And well, Bly, is he going to be able to do this? He has taken the supply lead for a moment, but there is the money vortex, exactly what was needed. And are we going to see those Archons get in there? Can the Archons even get into that vortex? Not at the moment. The Spine Crawlers, though, trying to get taken down. Another vortex hit. So many units get sucked in there. And well, Bly is deciding, let's throw it all in and see what comes out of the mixer. And well, at first, the Broodlords go out of one vortex and just straight into that other one. Just like, may as well delay this for as long as possible. But Welmu is definitely looking strong, and how much damage we're going to see here? Well, not that many Archons, unfortunately, but all of the Stalkers are directly underneath the Broodlord. They should be able to pick them all off, and once they go, well, basically, Bly is now in an absolutely catastrophic position, because he's got no Broodlords on the field. He's got 4 morphing, but he's lost all of his Spine Crawlers. Welmu is moving forward. Well, he was moving forward. He's now moving back, but ultimately, Bly is now really on the ropes. He's got to do something super, super impressive to hold this, because Welmu, he's happily mining in the middle. And got the 1 gas here, and well, we've of course got this bottom base. The top base is up and running at the moment for Bly, but for how long? Welmu's just like, that top base, that is not staying up. I do not want you having this base, and I am gonna get rid of it. He's like the angry dad or something, throwing away Bly's favourite hatchery, just because he kept putting it in the wrong place. And well, as we see here, the Broodlord's trying to come up, but just so much damage being done. The Stalk's in such a great spot. So many drones are going down right now. That is pretty sick by itself. Like, nearly that entire mineral grind gone. 33 workers have been killed by Welmu throughout this game. He manages to pick up the top base yet again, keeping his opponent 1 base below him at all periods in this game pretty much. And as a result, he is just starting to creep up in the supply yet again. He does still have his mothership up. I have no clue how this mothership has survived for so long. This is the, like, world's luckiest mothership ever. It's absolutely sick. But what's this? More Archons are morphing. Another Vortex is nearing ready. And Bly, well, Bly has 4 Broodlords. And I know Broodlords are good, but you might need more than 4. He's getting 4 more on the way. That takes him up to 8 for those of us who aren't so good at maths. But, well, Zealots, they're coming up. This poor base. This is like the little base that could. He keeps getting taken down, but he keeps on coming back up. Meanwhile, these Zealots apparently thinking they might be able to fly into the main, but don't manage to do so quite yet. Those lava bursting in such satisfying fashion, I must say. The Zealots are finally going to get taken down there, though. But that is allowing, of course, Welmu to start moving forward. He's sending more Zealots up here. He's got Zealots at the 3rd, trying to engage the Spine Crawlers directly, which is not advisable, to be fair. But the rest of these Zerglings are coming up. 3-2 Zealots up against 3-3 Zerglings. I believe Adrenal Gland is done, but that doesn't matter, because this push in the center is where all the panic is. There is enough energy for a Vortex. Is Welmu going to be able to get it off? Well, a big fungal growth keeps him out of range, but the center base goes down, and that could be the nail in the coffin for Bly, because if he loses his army now, he just is not going to have the money in order to come back into this game. So it's all getting pretty tense. It's getting pretty exciting. Mass changeling down here. It's just like a changeling party. They all want to come and hang around and see what's going on. Meanwhile, these Zealots finally getting cleaned up down to the 3rd base. Bly down to 50 workers, 59 there for Welmu. But Welmu does, of course, have these 2 mining bases compared to these 2 building bases at the moment. This one just finishing up. That puts Bly back up to 4 bases, but still a base down on his opponent. And it may not actually last for long, because so many Zealots coming here. Is getting scouted by Mass Changeling, though. So these Zerglings are going to come and engage, but the problem is they're not going to engage that cost effectively against this many Zealots, or at least they wouldn't have done if the Zealots had backed away a little bit. Obviously, if they're completely surrounded, they do okay. But if they had managed to back away, then obviously those Zealots would have had an okay time. These probes are apparently just going to go to probe heaven or wherever they go after they've been killed. And, well, as a result, Welmu now maxed out with a huge army, 147 supply of his army compared to the 117 of Bly right now. Cloak, for some reason, lags my computer. I genuinely don't know why. My computer is a beast. And nothing else even phases it apart from the cloak animation in StarCraft 2. There's just something about it. I hope it's fixed in Heart of the Swarm. I haven't actually checked, but either way, it's laggy. Now, here we go. We're moving forward. Is Welmu going to go for the push? He has got a 16 supply advantage. He's clearing out some Zerglings. The Broodlords are the threat. Is he going to be able to go in there? This mothership nearly has enough energy for 2 Vortex. So many infested Terrans there. A good Vortex does go down. The Broodlords have to be careful. This Corruptor apparently glitching a little bit there. Not in the Vortex, not out the Vortex. Precisely on the event horizon. But there goes down the second one. All of those Broodlords, apart from a few around here, have now been taken out. The rest of the Stalkers moving forward. Starting to take them out. The first Vortex is just finished up. The second Vortex on its way. Meanwhile, though, just so much damage being done. The mothership finally falling. But I think Welmu has done enough. It's going to be pretty close. A mass death there. As, of course, the Archons come out there and splash all of the air. So I think with that, with so little units left, no Broodlords, just 2 Infestors and 30 Zerglings, that ultimately Bly is going to be forced to GG in what was an absolutely epic engagement. Welmu just managing the expansion so well. And there we do have the GG and the grats from the very well-mannered Bly. So guys, if you did enjoy that, please subscribe, leave a cool comment, and like the video. That would be awesome, because you guys liking it and commenting means it's seen by more people. So that'd be absolutely great if you could. But overall, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow for yet another new game. Bye for now.